Good evening. Thank you for joining us. For many of us living or working on Vancouver Island, float planes can be a lifeline, but too often they are also a death trap. Today, major safety improvements are being recommended in the wake of nearly 24 deaths. Kristen Robinson explains how these coastal workhorses can be made safer for passengers.
4 horrific plane crashes on BC's coast between 2005 and 2009 killed 23 people. More than 2 years after the most recent crash off Saturna Island, a coroner's death review panel of industry experts has come up with 19 recommendations aimed at preventing future carnage.
Certainly it is our hope that these recommendations, if implemented, would go a long way towards public safety and air travel safety in British Columbia.
2 of the crashes prompting the recommendations involve Grumman Goose amphibious aircraft. One carrying a pilot and 6 passengers to a logging camp crashed into a steep slope near Alice Lake in August 2008. Campbell River's Bob Pomponio was one of the 2 survivors. Months later, another Grumman Goose carrying a pilot and 7 passengers to a Toba Inlet worksite crashed into a hillside on Thormanby Island, killing all but 1. The other crashes involved de Havilland Beaver float planes. The pilot and all 4 passengers perished when this one crashed into the water near Quadra Island in February 2005. In late 2009, 6 passengers drowned when this de Havilland Beaver crashed into Lyle Harbor shortly after taking off from Saturna Island.
There are always challenges with change, but when we looked at the incidents, when the panel looked at the incidents that happened, the consensus was that personal flotation devices would have saved lives.
Requiring all seaplane passengers and crew to wear life jackets during the entire flight and equipping all seaplanes with emergency exits to allow rapid egress following a water crash are 2 of 14 recommendations directed at Transport Canada. The majority involve improved regulation of commercial aviation. Others address plane design, weather forecasting, and record keeping. Mandatory life jackets and emergency water exits were both recommended by the Transportation Safety Board after the Saturna crash.
If you believe that change is necessary, then you continue to make the recommendations until the change happens.
None of them are any big surprise to us. We knew the report was coming, and we participated in working with the coroner to generate the findings.
Viking Air has already taken action by designing emergency pop-out windows for their de Havilland Beavers, a change that would cost operators $5,000 to $10,000 per seaplane.
I think sometimes there is a reluctance to change. The status quo is always very comfortable.
The coroner is hoping to hear from Transport Canada within 30 days. It's up to them to amend the rules.